The Lincoln Lawyer is not just another courtroom drama. It is a story about power, survival, and justice in a system where truth is often buried under influence, money, and fear. At the center of the story is Mickey Haller, a defense attorney who does not work from a luxury office or behind polished walls. He works from the back seat of his car. That choice is not just a style decision. It is a message. Mickey is always on the move, always adapting, always navigating a legal system that rarely stays fair or simple. What makes The Lincoln Lawyer stand out is that it does not present law as black and white. Every case exists in a gray zone. Clients are not always innocent. Prosecutors are not always evil. And justice is not always about winning. Sometimes it is about choosing the least wrong option in a broken system. Mickey Haller is not portrayed as a perfect hero. He makes mistakes. He cuts deals. He bends rules. But he also understands something crucial. The law does not protect everyone equally. If you do not know how to use it, it can destroy you. His role is not to judge morality, but to ensure the system does not crush people without a fight. The series also exposes how wealth and status influence outcomes. Rich defendants have resources, time, and leverage. Poor defendants have fear, pressure, and limited choices. The Lincoln Lawyer repeatedly shows how justice often depends on who can afford better representation, not who is truly right. Another powerful layer of the show is its psychological tension. Mickey constantly balances ethics with survival. Every decision carries consequences. For his career, his family, and sometimes for innocent lives. This creates a constant sense of pressure that mirrors real-world legal practice far more accurately than exaggerated courtroom theatrics. Unlike traditional legal dramas, the show focuses less on dramatic speeches and more on strategy, investigation, and negotiation. The real battles often happen outside the courtroom. In parking lots, private conversations, late-night research, and silent calculations. The performances elevate every scene. Manuel Garcia Rulfo brings depth and complexity to Mickey Haller. He portrays him not as a slick lawyer who always has the answers, but as someone constantly calculating risk, managing chaos, and wrestling with doubt. You see the exhaustion behind his confidence. The weight of choices that keep piling up. The supporting cast adds critical texture to the world. Neve Campbell as Maggie McPherson brings moral grounding without being preachy. She represents the prosecution side, but the show does not paint her as an adversary in simplistic terms. She and Mickey share history, respect, and conflicting loyalties. Their dynamic shows that people on opposite sides of the legal system can both be seeking justice, just through different lenses. Becky Newton as Lorna, Mickey's second ex-wife and legal assistant, provides energy and heart. She is not just comic relief. She is fiercely loyal, deeply invested, and often the emotional anchor when Mickey starts losing himself in the complexity of a case. Her presence reminds viewers that behind every legal battle, there are real people trying to hold lives together. Jazz Raycole as Izzy Letts, Mickey's driver, represents another dimension of survival. She is a former client, now working to rebuild her life. Her relationship with Mickey is built on mutual respect and second chances. She is proof that the legal system can occasionally offer redemption, but only when someone fights for it. The show also does something rare in legal dramas. It treats the law as a living, breathing entity that changes depending on who wields it. Rules that protect one person can trap another. Procedures meant to ensure fairness often become tools of manipulation. And the people who understand this best are not always the ones with the cleanest hands. Each season presents a central case that spirals into something far more complex than it first appears. The narrative structure mirrors the legal process itself. Information comes in pieces. Evidence shifts. Witnesses contradict themselves. Nothing is as simple as it seems at the start. Season 1 revolves around a high-profile murder case involving a wealthy tech entrepreneur. On the surface, it looks like a straightforward defense. But as Mickey digs deeper, he uncovers layers of deception, corruption, and personal danger. The case forces him to question not just his client, but his own judgment and the ethics of defending someone who might be guilty. What makes this case compelling is not just the mystery, but the moral ambiguity. Mickey must decide whether his duty to his client outweighs his responsibility to the truth. And the show does not give easy answers. It forces viewers to sit with discomfort, to question what justice even means when all the options feel compromised. Season 2 expands the stakes. Mickey takes on a case involving a chef accused of murder, but the deeper he gets, the more he realizes he is up against a system that does not want the truth to come out. Powerful people have invested in a particular outcome. Evidence has been tampered with. Witnesses are afraid to talk. And Mickey finds himself not just defending a client, but fighting against institutional corruption. This season highlights how the legal system can be weaponized. How those with power can shape narratives, control outcomes, and silence dissent. Mickey is not fighting just one prosecutor or one corrupt cop. He is fighting an entire machinery designed to protect itself. The show also explores the personal cost of this work. Mickey struggles with addiction, a history that haunts him throughout the series. His dependency on painkillers is not treated as a character flaw to be overcome in a single redemptive arc. It is a constant battle. A shadow that never fully disappears. And the show handles it with nuance, showing how trauma, pressure, and the demands of his job feed into his vulnerabilities. His relationships suffer. His daughter respects him but worries about him. His ex-wives care for him but cannot fix him. His friends support him but cannot carry his burdens. The series makes it clear that being good at your job does not mean your life is under control. Success in the courtroom does not translate to peace at home. The pacing of The Lincoln Lawyer is deliberate. It does not rush to dramatic moments. It builds them through investigation, conversation, and strategy. This makes the courtroom scenes more impactful because they are earned. When Mickey finally presents his case, you understand the hours of work, the risks taken, and the stakes involved. The cinematography supports this tone. Los Angeles is not glamorized. It is shown as a sprawling, chaotic city where wealth and poverty exist side by side. The visuals capture the grittiness of the streets, the sterile coldness of courtrooms, and the quiet desperation of people trapped in systems they cannot escape. The writing is sharp and efficient. Dialogue feels natural, not overly scripted. Characters speak like real people, not vessels for exposition. Conversations reveal character through subtext, hesitation, and what is left unsaid. This creates a sense of authenticity that many legal dramas lack. The Lincoln Lawyer also respects its audience. It does not over-explain. It trusts viewers to follow complex legal maneuvering without dumbing it down. It presents evidence, strategy, and argumentation in ways that feel true to how lawyers actually work, not how Hollywood imagines they work. One of the most compelling aspects of the show is how it portrays the relationship between truth and narrative. In court, truth is not just about facts. It is about how those facts are presented, who tells the story, and what the jury is willing to believe. Mickey understands this deeply. He knows that winning a case often depends on constructing a narrative that resonates emotionally, not just logically. This raises uncomfortable questions about justice. If the outcome depends on storytelling, then is justice about truth or persuasion? The show does not shy away from this tension. It leans into it, showing how even well-meaning lawyers can manipulate perception in service of their goals. The series also explores the isolation that comes with this kind of work. Mickey is surrounded by people, but he often feels alone. He carries secrets he cannot share. He makes decisions he cannot fully justify. And he lives with the consequences of choices that haunt him long after cases are closed. The Lincoln Lawyer succeeds because it understands that legal dramas are ultimately human dramas. The law is just the framework. What matters is how people navigate it, what they sacrifice, and what they choose to protect. It does not offer false hope. It does not pretend the system works perfectly. But it also does not fall into cynicism. It shows that within a flawed system, individuals can still fight for what is right, even if the victories are small and the costs are high. This is why the show resonates. It reflects real anxieties about institutions, power, and fairness. It acknowledges that justice is not guaranteed, that the law can be weaponized, and that the people tasked with defending it are as flawed as the system itself. But it also shows that the fight matters. That standing up for someone, even when the odds are against you, has value. That refusing to let the system crush people without resistance is an act of defiance and dignity. The Lincoln Lawyer is not escapist entertainment. It is a mirror held up to a broken system, asking viewers to see it clearly and to question what justice really means in a world where power, money, and influence shape outcomes more than truth ever could. And that is exactly why it works.